Last night a bitch nigga shot a real nigga. But we don't make no diss records, we just deal with it. Plus I be going through a lot, I never talk about it. And they using niggas songs in court, so I can't talk about it. Rap niggas think I'm dumb, like I don't see the play. I let them think they got the ups, and get them out the way. On FaceTime, my brother telling me he shot my mama, telling me to chill, but I know he seen that nigga face. But that's enough about that part. Talking about respect, well it's a must about that part. Playing with my money, well then it's up about that part. Cause when it's time to play ball, don't give a fuck about that part. They know I'm that nigga when they see me. Her man crush been a hater and her little brother won't beat me. Her friend been on my dick since I was passing out CDs. Her baby daddy a mark and her boyfriend probably a weenie. 3,300 on my book bag. Left some niggas in the past, but I don't look back. Shit kinda different, I ain't the man that I was. I seen death in too many forms and I ain't never really shook that. Don't let him rock you to sleep, true colors better believe him. I know that God got me, but I be riding with my reaper. Praying with my kids and even then I got my heater. And I be stepping so hard, this hoes in $1,000 sneakers. Take your bitch when I meet her, you ain't seen her in about 3 days. Knew I was a threat, I passed that stick like a relay. Spin it back to back, it's like a motherfucking replay. Turn your son into a bitch when I shoot, I think I'm D-Wade. Told him I'm a savage, if I want it, I'ma have it. Playing with my lettuce, cook your head like a cabbage. Tell them that I'm rich and I'm solid, that's the advantage. Bitch, bad kids, fresh little nigga, you can't stand it. Tell them big checks, yardsticks, not a roof. All I smoke is ops and I don't never smoke a hookah. Looking for a blessing that's worth of Jesus and Judas. Tell them niggas game 6, my whole team full of shooters. I slide on a nigga like a motherfucking flip-flop. Pressure on your homie and I promise he a flip-flop. Talking that wookie-woo, something. I know the police listen, so I ain't really saying nothing. I know these niggas envy, they can't manage how they feel. Jealousy's for bitches, you niggas pussy for real. A nigga get the drop and he happen to shoot. First we heal up and get back. We ain't going on the shirt, I swear to God.
Now woo-de-woo, something. Know the police listen, so I ain't saying nothing. Talking now woo-de-woo, something. Nigga cock back and aim and leave you bleeding where you running. Swear to God, nigga.
What's the deal, y'all? Rich Trapper tapping in, TNN Trap News Network. We back in this thing. Like, click, cracking this thing. Hit a like, hit a comment, hit a good subscribe. Everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that news you can use. It's that knowledge you ain't finna get nobody's college, big dog. Tap in with the tap in to make sure you are, in fact, tapped in with that good tap in. You see Damian Porter right there, man. We finna give y'all some news y'all can use, some knowledge y'all ain't finna get nobody's college. But before we do, make sure you hit the like, hit the comment, hit the good subscribe button, the notification bell, hit all. Stay tapped in for the latest and the greatest, everything we got. And if you feel like you want to be a part of this Trap News Network family, hit me up on Instagram, TRAPNEWS, and we'd love to have you on the team. Let's see what Damian Porter got to say about the war between, they went to war, no more peace treaty. So let me see this real quick, because it was this one that I wanted to hear about, the 30s. I think this is the one that I wanted to read about, the one to listen to. Yeah, the 30s versus BPS. Okay, let's get into this content. Let's go.
Welcome to another episode, everyone. The Los Angeles County Jail, circa 1994. The blacks, the brothers, had a peace treaty going. And the Harlems and the BPSs, they broke the peace treaty. They had a war of sorts. They just could not help themselves. At this juncture, as I've alluded to many times before, 1994, the riots are just beginning to happen in the Los Angeles County Jail between the blacks and the Hispanics. And since these wars, these micro wars have been going on with the blacks and the Southsiders there in the Los Angeles County Jail, again, some blacks have came and they are changing the narrative. And the blacks that are pulling up, well, they decided that it was time for a bit of a ceasefire between the brothers. So they all came together, and we all came together and decided that we had one common goal at this time, one common enemy, and that was the Southsiders. With all due respect to the Southsiders, we had decided that we should direct all of our violent energy towards them, since they are the ones that are viciously and savagely and randomly attacking us. And so we decided that in order to do this, we would have to stop quarreling amongst ourselves. Now, not everyone was in agreement, of course. Some hotheads still wanted to seek out their ops and carry out the duties of their respective gangs. But for the most part, everyone was on board and certainly agreed that a ceasefire was in order, and let's focus some attacks upon the south sides. But it was a few Harlems there in the module. This was 47 R3800. There was also so there were some BPSs and some Harlems there in the module, about 4 or 5 of each. But there are Crips and Bloods from every section here in this module at the time. And again, at first, everyone was going at each other. The gang banging culture was really steep at this time, early 1990s. And people were really setting out to make a name for themselves. And so there in the Los Angeles County Jail, there was all sorts of blood on the walls. And a lot of it was black blood. You know, orchestrated, carried out, administered by another black man. We had all got sick of it and said, enough is enough. Let's cease fire.
Now, Damian Porter's making an amazing point. People being in jail, teaming up with their enemies. And that's a real thing to notice, that you will go to jail if you want to live a certain type of life, and you will have to be cool with your enemy. So the same dude that you popping out on the streets is now going to be the same dude that you depend on to possibly save your life against another race.
Come together. We agreed, and everything was going along just fine. But it was 2 young dudes there, one from Harlem, one from Blackstone. And these dudes, well, they despised one another. They made their feelings clear. I believe that they had a history on the street. They had either shot at one another, had fought one another, had went to the same school, etc. They were familiar with each other. They had grew up together, even though they were ops. The Harlems and the Black P-Stones have a long, violent history amongst and against one another. They have had an ongoing war for decades, arch enemies. And sometimes the hatred, well, it can run deep. Sometimes, no matter what happens, these two factions, they just cannot get with the peace treaty. And there are different hoods like that. When the enemy is so strong and so hated, that even it's like I'll have peace with everyone except these people. But for a while, the Harlems and the Blackstones are going along with the peace treaty. They agreed to it as well, to put down the weapons and to let's focus our attention elsewhere. And everything is fine for about 3 weeks or so. But these 2 youngsters who cannot get along, who do not like one another, have to be separated constantly. They're looking at one another crazy. They're mean-mugging one another. You know, they're talking loud so the other one can hear. Man, this dude turned up, extra loud, think he tough. Whatever the lingo was, the jargon was back in those days, this was the message. That one is sitting to the other. They've had spats, and if you're wondering how come they haven't fought and just got it over with, it's because of this peace treaty. It's clear that they want to get to one another. They want to have at one another's throat, but we are disallowing this because of
the overall probability of you guys getting into it with each other and both being taken off the yard to now the blacks are 2 men down in a situation where they're already dramatically outnumbered is higher than the issue that you 2 ninjas have with each other. The soldiers is needed in the war, big dog. Y'all can't be in there arguing with each other.
Peace treaty. You can't really tell which one would win, which one is tougher than the other. Both of these dudes are stand-up individuals. They have no smut on them whatsoever. The Blackstone and the Harlem are both strong individuals. In my estimation, I haven't seen a flaw in either one of them. I haven't been in a module that long, and I was just 19 years old myself. And these two dudes were about the same age. And the OGs are not really about to let them, squander the ceasefire, take it upon themselves because they cannot get along, because they have personal feelings, negative feelings towards one another, that we're about to let you negate and nullify everything that we've been cultivating as it relates to this peace treaty. So they are standing in line at first and agreeing and adhering to the rules in the peace treaty. But I knew that it was inevitable that these two dudes were going to go at it eventually. And not only that, they were going to eventually involve their entire factions. It was just inevitable. You either had to separate them and get one out of the module, or it was going to go up eventually, peace treaty or not. I felt it. I knew it. And one day on the way to Chow, we were walking to Chow at that time in the Los Angeles County Jail. And we were standing there right there in line, waiting to go into the Chow Hall. And these two dudes are mean-mugging one another. Something has happened to where, the intensity has been spiked up between the two. One of them may have got a bad letter, had a bad visit, whatever, but they are mean-mugging one another. Now, this is really nothing new. But this time, it just seems intense. It seems like something is about to transpire inside of the Chow Hall. As we're sitting there and they mean-mugging each other, we go inside of the Chow Hall. And everybody sits down, takes their seat, and take their trays. And as we're eating, the dude from Harlem says to Black P-Stone, bro, why you keep looking crazy like you on like that, like you turned up, bro? Now, the dude from Harlem, his homeboy told him, bro, don't say nothing else. Chill out, because again, we got this peace treaty. They already told this youngster not to confront this dude from Blackstone, to let everything be. But he just couldn't help it on this day for whatever reason. And so he did confront him and say, man, you steady walking around here like you tough, bro. This shit rubbing me the wrong way. So Blackstone just looked at him and laughed and kept eating. So once the Harlem saw that the dude from Blackstone wasn't being aggressive or responded back or tripping, his homies like basically tell him, man, don't pay this dude no mind. But they're not about to continue to sit there and let this dude just keep talking to their homie crazy. But they're trying to maintain the peace too. And they see that the dudes from Harlem, they did get on their homeboy and tell him, bro, chill out. It was getting aggressive. Like, chill out before we crash. Because we already told you there's going to be no beef right now. We have a ceasefire. The dude from Harlem, he kept going. And said, man, just let me and this dude handle it, bro. It's a peace treaty and all that, but we got beef. We got beef. That's what we keep trying to tell y'all. It's not going to never work with me and him. We got beef. And as a matter of fact, we ain't going to be able to stay in the module together. And as he started talking about this beef, the dude from Blackstone stealthily got up, surreptitiously grabbed his food tray, crept over there while dude is running his mouth to his homies, and cracked him right upside the head with the tray. Bam! He didn't say nothing. He was done talking. He had had enough. And he cracked Harlem upside the head with the tray. Bam! But now it's up. Peace treaty or not, the dudes from Harlem, since dude couldn't really defend himself, he got hit the tray, he dazed. They jump up and grab trays and hit the dude from BPX upside the head of the tray that had just hit the dude from Harlem. And now they in the chow hall going at it. They swinging trays, food, throwing cups. They squabbling. It's about 5 on 5. Now, the rest of the Crips, they aren't looking. The rest of the Bloods are looking.
I will say this. Them trays are hard. Getting smacked with one of them trays in the LA County jail is not something that you're going to walk away from easy. Especially if they catch you with the corner. Oh my goodness. Bow. Smack you right upside your SHIT, right upside your head. Oops, upside your head. It go oops, upside your head.
And wondering if they should get in. You can see. But everyone here in the module has become cool with one another. Even the Harlems and the BPS are getting along. And so they don't want to squander that because, you know, of a long-standing beef that these two individuals had. The gangs have these beefs as well. The Harlems and the BPS, they have a long-standing history of a deadly war. Yes.
But you know what? It'll be a situation where two hoods is getting into it, and then two people from those two people from those hoods will take it overboard, and then they really get into it with each other, and they take that all the way to the max.
They have even managed to coexist. It's these two individuals who cannot coexist no matter what, apparently. But because of that, they done caused a lot of friction. Now, the Harlems and the BPSs who have been conversant with one another in the module, have been cordial with one another, now have to hit each other upside the head with food trays. They were not happy. And the rest of the Crips and the Bloods, they stood down. They decided and discussed it later on and said, man, we wasn't finna go at each other. We had a peace treaty. We got a peace treaty, bro. These dudes just can't help them, so they couldn't stop it. They should have stopped. They should have separated them dudes a long time ago when they kept mean-mugging each other, kept having words throughout the couple of weeks. You can see that they was heading for a clash. They wasn't really respecting the ceasefire, the peace treaty. They wasn't really necessarily respecting the OGs who had said it's not happening. These dudes were young, like I said, about my age at the time, 19, 20. They were no older than 21. And they were just taking the law into their own hands, basically. And so people felt like the Harlem should have got on their young homeboy before it came to this. Should have removed him out of the module, if necessary, whatever. Should have had control of him. And vice versa with the BPSs. But it didn't happen that way. Instead, they let them hang around and linger in the module until they clashed, and then it caused everyone else, at least from those hoods, from that faction, to clash right there in the chow hall. And it was blood everywhere. It was a bloody, because they was getting hit upside the head with trays. It was blood. It was an ugly sight. It was a bad situation. And then, as I say, the rest of the Crips, they looking like they finna jump up, and the Bloods finna jump up. But then they all looking at each other like, man, fuck that. That's between these two groups right here because they tripping, bro. You know, we trying to have some going. Black people can never come together. We try to come together, and here these two go, some youngsters. We gonna let these youngsters come in here and dictate the ceasefire, the peace treaty that we have with one another. We really felt shame. Felt like they should have took care of that before it came to this. But they didn't, and so they acted it out. But after that incident, there in the chow hall, everyone
that's a situation where people should have been preventative and not reactive. Both dudes probably should have got put up out of there.
Went back to programming and getting along and decided that the ceasefire would continue until it didn't. And that they would not allow anyone, young or old, to come into the modules and dictate and cause tension and have tension amongst themselves that can cause tension amongst the community. It's not happening. So a lesson was learned there, but they came and shook things up. Peace treaty was going on. We were trying to focus our aggression, violent attention upon another race that was focusing their violent attention upon us. But instead of being able to do that, black people were fractured. These two could not put their personal feelings to the side and kicked it off. But after that, everything went back to normal. The Harlems and the BPS is a long-standing beef. Hopefully at some point, these brothers can put their weapons down and embrace one another. It may sound crazy, I know. But this is something we're all going to have to do. Gang banging is played out. Shit is old. Shit is stupid. So it's disgusting. It's sick. Gang banging is, yeah. It's nothing. Stay away from gangs. Stay away from jail. Shit is nothing. Shit is. Look at this. People getting their head busted open for what? It's not worth it. It's silly. Stay safe and stay free, people.
All right, man, and there y'all have it. Damian Porter, stay safe and stay free. That's a pretty interesting situation, a pretty interesting set of circumstances. But again, you know, we all got to figure out our own decision making and figure out the best way for us to move around these 1-2 steps like Sierra in these YouTube streets. But we up out here to the next one. Y'all know the deal. It's red down to the left. You know the rest. It's free. I'm doing Angel Tweets free. We gone.